Hey, in this video we're going to go through the upload and prep data steps for SurveyMonkey data. Now let's go ahead and look at the SurveyMonkey output. One thing you'll notice as soon as you export the data is SurveyMonkey for some reason has two headers, which is not ideal for us. It's okay, the software accounts for this. What it does is it looks at this first row, and if there is a value in this first row, it grabs that as a header. If there is not a value, like in these rows here, it's going to grab the second header here. So at the end, once you import the data, it's just going to have one header, which would be this first one if there is a value, otherwise it's the second one. Now this does add a little more cleaning for us, but it's not so bad. All right, so here is the SurveyMonkey output. We get a respondent ID in this one. So this is how we're going to count our distinct respondents IDs. We have some extra data that came. We're going to hide this in our workflow because we don't need this, or I don't need it at least. And then we start with all of our different questions. All right, so this is the SurveyMonkey output. We will come back to this in a second. But this is what it looks like. Now let's go ahead and look at the actual SurveyMonkey survey. I went ahead and cut some of the information out and just did some of the most popular question types. So we have the contact information question, which has multiple columns for one question, which, as you see, we have your contact information, and we have all these columns associated with this one question. All right, we have a U.S. region question, which is just a regular single select multiple choice. We have date time, which gives us a date, which you can see right here. We have this ethnicity question, which is a single response and other specify option. So this one has two columns. You'll see it has the single response where it selects just one of the answers, and there's another column for the other specify part. So this is actually the same question, but in two different columns. But when we get into the data cleaning and prep stage, we're going to need to separate these two. Otherwise, we'll have all the open-ended questions in the same chart as this one. All right, but we'll deal with all that later. We have a slider, which is just a numeric type question. A star rating, which will just give us a 1 to 5 in the output. Net promoter score gives us a 0 to 10, which we'll have a special question type for that one. We have this matrix, simple matrix like we always have. Checkbox, which is our multiple choice, where you can select many. We have this one, which is a little different. It's a multiple checkbox, text box. So you have one question where you have multiple text box in one question, but all of these show up in different columns. But we'll be able to handle that as well. And then SurveyMonkey has this special question type, which is the drop down menus. This gives us a little bit of a problem because it's just a weird, a weird question, but we solved it in the software, so I'll show you how to do that. And then finally, we got a ranking question, which is just ranking these, 1 to 4. All right, so that's what the survey looks like. This is the output of it. Now let's go ahead and jump into the prep data step. All right, so we have the upload screen. First, got to upload the data. We can go ahead and use the API, or we can go ahead and just browse our files and put it here. All right, so I'm going to upload that data and give it a second for it to load. All right, all the data is loaded, and as you see, it removed that second header, and it grabbed the second header if the first header was empty. So if we look at the Excel file real quick, you'll see your contact address, which was all the way on the left, and then the next one was empty. So what it did was grabbed the one under it, which was company. So grab the one under it, which is company. All right. So like I said, this is going to add a little bit more cleaning, but it's what we got. So we're going to go ahead and work with what we got here. All right. So here's the data. Now let's go to prep data. And the first thing we're going to have to do is identify our respondent ID. which in this situation is our first column. So go ahead and click on that, which will tell it what our respondent ID is. Next, I want to hide some of these columns because I don't need them. They're just automatically generated columns. And these are the ones, if you want to keep them, I mean, you can go ahead, you can add them in your survey if you like, in your dashboard, but I don't need these. So I'm going to go ahead and hide these. And we get to our first question. All right, so our first question was the contact information one. All right, and how we're going to do this is we're going to look at the actual question here, and then we're going to grab our crosswalk, which is our SurveyMonkey crosswalk in the upload and prep data knowledge base category, and we're going to look at the crosswalk for each. So the contact information, you see there is there's going to be multiple columns for each one of these. I don't really need all of these, so I'm just going to keep a few of these and hide the others. So you see it starts with your contact address and goes all the way down to your phone number. Since we have that double header thing, any time it had the double header, it's going to show the actual question instead of the value. So if we go look at the data again, you'll see the question is your contact address, but the actual value is name. So we can go ahead and clean this in the clean data step, or we can do it here. But I usually wait until the clean data step. If you want to do it here, you can just delete this and put name, and then you can, then you can save a step later on. But I just like leaving this here. So I'm gonna want to hide some of these. I don't care about the address, the city, state. I'm gonna keep the zip code because I'm gonna create that map, which needs a zip code to do that. And I'm going to get rid of country, email address to, and phone number. All right, so I'm gonna hide all these. Now with this question type, which is that contact information question type, you have to have a new question number for each one of these columns because these are going to all show up in a different chart. Okay, so each one of these three now are all in that one question type, but these are all going to need its own question number. All right, so I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3 since there's 3 of them. All right, now let's go ahead and preview your contact address, which is really your name. If you want, go ahead. We can change this just to name, just to save us a little bit of time later. But you don't have to. So I'll do it for this one, but not for the other ones. So here you have name. All right, you got your company, and you got your zip code. All right. So the name for the contract address, if we go ahead and look at our question type crosswalk, you see contact information is either a text box or a zip code. So we go ahead and make this text box or zip code. Name is a text box, it's open-ended. Company is also a text box, and zip code is a zip code because we want to show a map in our visualization. All right, the next one is region. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put the crosswalk on another screen so we can go through this a little quickly. So as you see, you can look at the question type from SurveyMonkey and then see what the corresponding question type is in VizualSurvey. And then it'll tell you if you need to give it a single new question number or you need to group the columns together by giving it one question number. All right, now we're going to assign the question number. So let's go ahead and take a look at the data here. All right, so we have the company here, which is just an open-ended type question. We have the zip code, which is going to be a zip code question type, so we want to see a map. But you're going to have to make sure if you're using the contact information question type in SurveyMonkey that these are all its own new question number because these are all separate columns and you don't want these all in the same chart, so they need their own number. All right, so this is going to be 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now all we're going to have to do is look at our SurveyMonkey question type crosswalk, which is in our knowledge base, which I'll just come over here and show you real quick. and you'll see what the question type is in SurveyMonkey and what the question type will be in VizualSurvey. And then also if it's going to be a grouped single question number where multiple columns are grouped together with the same question number, or it's just going to be one column, one question number, and then any notes. Now to save time, I'm going to put this on the other screen, and I'm going to go through these looking at the SurveyMonkey question type and then picking the VizualSurvey one. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move that, and we're going to go through, and we're going to look at each preview. So the name one is, we already know, is a text box. The company is also a text box because it's open-ended, and the zip code, we want this to be the zip code question type because we want to show it as a map. Now let's go to US region. US region is going to be a single response, and it's going to have its own new question number. All right, let's look at what is your birth date. This one is going to be a date, and it's going to have its own question number. All right, what race, ethnicity? This is also a single response with its own question number. And the thing that's a little different here is this one had what is your ethnicity? And let me pull up the actual question, and it had this little box at the end that said, if you don't have one of these, then enter it in. All right, so you actually got two columns for this question, but you don't want this to be the same question number because it will group all of these together in one chart. You want this to have its own question number, and it's going to be a text box. All right, so even though it's the same question, you want to separate these or else you're going to have all those open-end questions in your bar chart, and your bar chart is just going to look crazy. All right, the next one is how long have you been using the software? This is just a numeric, and it's its own question. All right, how satisfied are you with the ability to integrate? This is also its own single new question number. And this is going to be either a single response or a numeric. Up to you with which one you want to do. The different question types will make it a different chart. So numerics will give you like an average type on a chart, and give you statistics. Where the single response will do bar chart of each one of these. All right, how likely are you to recommend? This is the Net Promoter Score. This is going to be a special question type. And this is going to have its own number. All right. Now, this one is the matrix one. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like. That's this one here. Whether do you use all the features available in the software? Now, you see we're actually missing this first value, which is graphical presentation. So you see we have a database integrated with software, offline, online mode, but this one is really graphical presentation. We can either change it here like we did with the name, or we can change it later. And this one I'm going to change it later. We just have to make sure that we group all of these together by giving it the same question number. All right. And this one is a single response matrix. All right, this is what makes you retain. This one is what makes you continue to retain this software. This one is also one of those kind of tricky ones. So this is the checkbox. And since we have that double header problem, the first column is really its features, but it's overtaken by the first row in the header, which is this. But on this one, we don't got to worry about it because it's in the answer options. So all we got to do is just make sure we catch that first column and put it with the same question number. All right, and this one is a multiple choice. All right, let's keep going down. The next one is that one is the multiple text box. Same thing with this because of the double header. We have business one is replaced with this. That's fine. We can clean that up later. Just make sure it has the same question number. Now with this, you have two options. You can either give all of these individual numbers, which will separate these into individual charts. Or you can give it all the same numbers and group them all together, and it'll put all of them in one single list and count all of them in one single list. All right, up to you on how you want to do it. But the question type for this one is text box because it's an open-ended type question. All right, what's your level of satisfaction? Let's take a look at this. This one is a different question type, a little special. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like. So this is that matrix drop-down one. So you see that you have the question, you have rows, you have columns, and then you have this drop-down where you have multiple answers. So this is a matrix of drop-down menus in SurveyMonkey. All right, this is going to also have the same thing where the first column is really this, but it's overdone by the question because that double header thing. We'll clean that up later. You just got to make sure you give it all the same question number. So let's go ahead and give these all 14. And this is a different question. And then let's do the matrix of drop-down menus. All right, we got the last one, which is a ranking one. Let's go ahead and look at it. We got the same problem because of the double header. Tableau is overtaken by this. We can change this to Tableau now, or we can do it later. Let's go ahead and do it later. And let's give all of these the same question number. So you just got to really make sure you give it the same question number. We can do all the cleaning later. All right, so we got all our new question numbers, our question types. Now we can go through and assign filters if you like. I'm just going to do one. And then we're good to go, and we're in the cleaning stage. All right, I'll see you in that next video.